me ask you a question. Have you ever started the week with every intention of eating better, working out, and taking care of yourself? And then somehow life just gets in the way. Work got busy, extra meeting, somebody needed something. You didn't have time to grocery shop. You didn't know what you were having for dinner, and your workouts just didn't happen. And by the end of the week, you're wondering what happened. See, I don't think it's necessarily because you're unmotivated or that you don't have discipline. Maybe your life is just disorganized. And I don't mean like your house is messy, right? That's not what I mean. I mean your time, your schedule, your food, and your priorities. Everything is competing for your attention, and taking care of yourself is getting whatever time is left over. See, today we're going to talk about 5 ways being disorganized may actually be getting in the way of your weight loss and health goals. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to identify where your system is breaking down and then taking care of yourself a whole lot easier. So once we know that system, give you some things to do, and you're going to be good to go. All right. But before we get right into it, welcome back. If you do not know, it's your girl, Chelsea C., your fitness and nutrition coach. Always doing the most so you don't have to. See, if you're a woman over 40 who wants to lose weight, keep your energy up, feel good, and actually enjoy your life, you're in the right place. See, I usually talk about fitness, nutrition, and wellness and helping women create habits that help them feel their best. So those videos, definitely check them out. They're really good. And today it's still kind of in that same vein, but I've been teaching some time management classes. That's one of the many things that I do at community college. And I've been teaching that for a couple of semesters. And the more I've taught it, the more I started to realize how connected things are with my coaching clients, my women 40 plus that I've been doing for over 20 years, how important time management really is. Because a lot of people don't have a knowledge problem. I think no one right now has a knowledge problem, right? With all the stuff that's out there. If anything, we probably have an overload problem. So knowledge is not the problem. What the issue is a systems problem or a lack of a system. You may know exactly what you need to do to take care of your health, but if your life isn't organized in a way that supports those things, doing them consistently can feel almost impossible. So today I want to talk about a few ways being disorganized or unorganized, saying tomato, may actually be getting in the way of your weight loss goals and what you can do about it. So if this resonates, keep watching. If it's for someone else, please share. Okay, so number 1, let's get right into it today. You got a pen and paper? Well, you could pause it, I guess. You don't have a plan for what you're going to eat. Okay. And as of this video, lots of things are happening in the States with our food. So that'll be a video for another time. But we can still plan ahead and try to eat as well as we can. So let's give an example. And this example comes from my years of coaching, right? Let's say you wake up in the morning, Monday morning, and you're determined that this is the week you're going to eat better. You're going to take care of yourself because you're trying to get some energy. You want to feel better in your clothes, look better, just all of those things. And eating well is going to help, right? So you wake up, but you didn't plan what you were going to have for breakfast, right? So you might either have coffee, you might have coffee and maybe some bread, you may have nothing, okay? So then you go to work. It's busy at work, right? Lunch sneaks up. You either have your teammates, coworkers, they are ordering something, so you order something with them, or you walk with them to get something, probably something fast food or from the restaurant, or maybe you just get some from the vending machine because you have a deadline. Okay. And then when you get home, you're just exhausted from the day, but also you've been eating kind of like either nothing or things with not a lot of nutritional value, right? But then you get home, you're exhausted. You didn't plan anything for dinner. There's some frozen things in the refrigerator, the freezer that you're not unthawing. So what happens? So either you might have a spouse, it might just be you, it might be your kids. You know, it doesn't matter. Like you're exhausted, you don't want to cook, and so you order food, and it becomes a loop, right? See, the problem wasn't that you didn't want to eat healthy, right? Like I said, the example is I'm getting up, Monday's my day, right? The problem is that you didn't make a decision until you were hungry and tired. So you just didn't have a plan. And when you're hungry and tired, that's not the best time to start making a bunch of decisions about food. I always tell my clients, I'm like, when you're hungry, just hungry, period. But if you're hungry and tired, our basic needs kick in. I just need food. I don't care what it is at this point. Feed me so I can feel better and I can go on with my day, right? But a little planning ahead can make a huge difference. See, you don't have to do a meal prep every meal for 7 days. I mean, it's nice if you can. And at some point, when you see how easy it is, you might want to do it. But that's not really what you need to do now. But you should probably have some idea of what you're eating. Right? Like, oh, I have this or this. Like, what do you have at home? What are your go to meals? What are you going to do on the busy days? Because if you don't make a decision ahead of time, chances are hunger and convenience are going to make that decision for you. And let me back up real quick because I just asked you, what do you have at home? What are your go to meals? What do you do on your busy days? See, these questions you have to be proactive, right? You got to think about these the week before or at least a couple days before, right? So that's where time management, on Friday evening or Saturday during the day or in the evening, I'm going to kind of plan, well, what is my, or Sunday, right? Whatever day, I don't know, people's schedules all over the place now. Whatever day you can sit back and kind of open up your schedule, what does next week look like? Oh, I always have a meeting on Wednesday. Or I don't usually have a meeting, but I have one this week. Oh, a deadline is up. So then you can plan your things around that. So you still have to be proactive because when are you going to ask yourself these questions? If you don't ask them prior, you're trying to ask them during it, and it's just like, so number one, you don't have a plan. So we're going to start making a little bit of a plan. All right. Number two, you're not scheduling your health. So the next question, what days are you going to intentionally move your body and or work out, right? Because whatever workouts look like for you, right? It could be going to the gym. Maybe you do a class at the gym. Maybe you do a class somewhere else. Maybe you walk. Maybe you bike. Some people doing Peloton. Maybe you do yoga, Pilates, stretching. Whatever you do for your wellness. Maybe it's jogging, roller skating. Like, when are you going to do it? What day? And what time? Because if your workout isn't scheduled, there's a good chance something else is going to take that time. And you probably know what I'm talking about, all right? We schedule work meetings, which are important, right? Doctor's appointments, we got kids, we're scheduling things for our children, families, and everyone else, right? You probably, sometimes you have a whole sheet. Where's mine? I don't have it here, but you're like, boom, boom, boom. They'll be like, what do you need? Like, this is where I'm going to be on Sunday at 3, right? Really good. But you got to schedule your workouts as well. See, but when it comes to taking care of ourselves, sometimes we don't put it in here, right? We just say, I'll do it when I have time. And the problem is, most of us just don't magically find extra time. I feel like when I do have downtime, I'm like, full transparency, either on this phone or vegging out, watching Netflix or something, because that's my time to kind of chill out, right? If I don't have it already planned in my planner. whether it's digital, paper. I still like paper because that's what I like. Okay. So you have to make time. So that might mean putting your walk on your calendar. I would highly do that. Schedule your workout. Setting aside time for grocery shopping. This is really a big one. I have a client now, and every time she's so proud of herself. She's like, I was like, what's one of the biggest things just that you've accomplished or that you could feel the difference? She's like, then I set aside a time for grocery shopping. And to me, that's normal. Like, why wouldn't you set aside a time to grocery shop every week? Ahead of time, like on Friday, Saturday. But for her, and maybe even for you, I mean, once you do things a lot, you think it's just normal or natural. But because she wasn't making the time ahead of time, Sunday would come, roll around, shoot, I didn't get to the grocery store. Next week, Sunday roll around, didn't get to the grocery store. And she was one of my clients that used to eat out every day, probably lunch and dinner. Saved her a bunch of money from that. There is a video on that about convenience costing you. We saved her about $700 a month. So if you're looking for some money to save, the planning is going to save you some money. It's the video. Check it out. If you have questions, let me know. Okay, so make sure you have time to prepare food. Right? It doesn't have to be a gourmet feast. Don't have to be Martha Stewart or I don't know what those other chefs' names are. Right? It just has to be chickens, some basic stuff that you can either throw in the oven, you can throw stir fry. It's already done. Maybe you already get it cut up. Maybe you already get some stuff already done, but it's healthy, right? So, because your health cannot always be something you do whatever time is left over. I feel like health is first, right? Because if I'm not healthy and strong and feeling good, how am I going to help family, friends, work, right? And I know we've been taught the opposite, put yourself last, but really, if you think about it, it doesn't work well. Like Dr. Phil would say, how's it working for you, right? Doesn't work well, and it just doesn't end well. Okay. So schedule your workouts and your grocery shop and all that good stuff. Same way you schedule other things. Give me 1 second here. All right. Number 3, you're living reactively. So this is a big one. These next 3 are all big. These are all something that you got to be aware of. It doesn't resonate and you're good. It does. Let's do something about it. So a lot of us wake up in the morning and immediately start reacting, right? We're picking up the phone, checking our phone, our emails, or whatever we're looking at. You're answering a text, check your emails, something happens at work, somebody needs something from you, family member, friend. Then another thing happens. And before you know it, the entire day is gone, right? You weren't really in charge of your day. Your day was in charge of you. See, when you're constantly reacting, things that are important but not urgent usually get pushed aside. Going for your walk isn't urgent. Preparing healthy food isn't urgent. Well, for me, but just in the grand scheme of life, right? It's not urgent. Getting to bed on time might not feel urgent, but those things add up. But those are important things, right? And before you know it, you've gone an entire week saying, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow looks exactly like today because nothing about your system has changed. That's why figure out what matters most and put it in your calendar will save you most days. And some days are just days, right? It's like had it all set up and everything blew up. And that's fine, right? I always say plan it. Life has other plans sometimes. But if you plan it and it's a smooth day, you're going to be all right. Okay? So make sure you are planning. We're not reacting, we're being proactive. That's what I tell my clients. I say, we're going to move from reactive to proactive. If you know, now of course there's always emergencies and things come up, but that's usually not every day. You set your schedule and you have to have boundaries. I've done a video on boundaries, right? All of this connects, right? If I say I'm walking at 6 and my nephew's like, oh, can you pick me up? I can pick you up at 7 or call your mama, right? You have to set boundaries. Now, it's up to you if you want to go pick up your nephew, right? In dire straits. But you know what I'm saying? Anytime you start, and if this resonates, comment. Anytime you start trying to put boundaries up or do some things for yourself, there's always going to be some backlash, right? Because they're used to you always being there. Oh, we can count on Charisse to do everything. Count on Chelsea to do everything. No, you cannot. Okay, count on yourself. So boundaries are important because they go hand in hand with number 3. Sorry, which is not living reactively. You're going to be proactive. It's going to help you slow down. And you're going to feel better. Number 4. If you're still with me, I appreciate it. These are going to be life changing if you use it. Right? You don't have systems. So this might be the biggest one. I'm going to probably say that for the next one as well. So you shouldn't have to reinvent your life every single day. You shouldn't have to wake up every morning and figure out, so what am I going to eat? When am I going to work out? What am I wearing? When am I going to the grocery store? What am I making for dinner? What days am I working out? You need to create systems. Maybe you have 3 or 4 breakfasts that you rotate. Easy stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe just egg, oatmeal. Maybe you do some fruit, omelet. Maybe you do a shake, a smoothie. You're on the go. Okay. Uh, Maybe you go to the grocery store the same day every week. Now things happen, but if you know, like Saturday mornings, I get up, I do a little exercise. I'm already out. I go grab stuff before things get crazy at the grocery store. Maybe you take 15 minutes on Sunday and look at your schedule. Maybe you already know which days you work out, so you put that in. See, the goal isn't to make your life rigid. The goal is to make taking care of yourself easier because systems reduce decision making. So there's something called, and this is a real thing, I'm not making it up. You can Google it and chat it. It's called decision fatigue. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. And basically, it describes how the quality of our decision making declines as we make additional choices and as our cognitive abilities, this is our thinking abilities, get worn out through the day, right? So decision fatigue can occur when we have too many choices, or we've been making too many decisions, or we have too many options. And so you probably know what I'm talking about. A lot of times, several times this has happened, and I kind of know myself, so I kind of prepare, but like me and my friends will go out in the evening, right? It could be the weekday. It's usually the weekday, but it could be the weekend. But weekday, and I've worked all day, I'm tired, right? That's why we're gonna go out, hang out a little bit, chill out, hear some music, chit chat about life. And then they're asking me, like, oh, well, where are we going? What are we going to eat? I just said, and I say this a lot, I said, I do not literally have the brain capacity to make another decision. And you've probably been there before. Maybe it was with kids, maybe it was family members. Like the end of the day, so it's a real thing. You start off very high in the morning with a lot of decisions, and then toward the end of the day, the decision making goes down. See, and the fewer decisions you have to make when you're tired, stressed, and busy, the more likely you're to follow through, right? Because now I'm tired. I didn't plan anything. I barely ate all day. Now I'm supposed to go work out, but then I still have to eat, and then I still have to get ready for tomorrow. It's I'm exhausted just thinking about that, right? And it just becomes a vicious circle if you cycle. If you've seen any videos, and most of them I'm talking about cycles, right? We got to break that cycle and start a healthier cycle. All right, number 5. Everything is a priority except you. And this is kind of like number 3, right? Because 3 was You're living reactively. So it's similar, but not, right? Because reactive is just like this fire, this fire, this fire. Priority accept you is more like you want to do something, but you'll put someone else in front. Okay. So you have work, you have family, you have responsibilities, you have people who need things from you. And I'm not saying those things don't matter because I have people that need things from me and I gladly do them because they do. Those things matter. But the question is, when do you matter? If everything is a priority, and everyone else gets a place on your calendar, where are you? Where's your health? Where's your rest? Where's your time to move your body or get a massage? I'm a massage person, but get a massage, get your nails done, something relaxing. Where's the time you need to prepare the food that helps you feel good, right? Because the foods that we eat determine if we have energy or not. Sometimes getting organized means taking an honest look at your life and asking, what actually needs my attention? What can't wait? What can I say no to? Say no is a complete sentence. I've learned that in my older and wiser years. What am I doing simply because I've always done it? And what would happen if I actually made taking care of myself a priority? And how number 5 is connected to number 3 is you do have to start putting those boundaries up. Once you know this is what I'm doing, this is going to help me help you. This is, you got to just make sure you have those boundaries. And see, this is what I want you to really take away from this video, nothing else. Managing your time management is not about doing more. I think people get that confused. You don't need to find a way to cram more things into an already busy life. You don't need another 10 things on your to-do list. You need to decide what matters and create a system that supports it. Because if losing weight and getting healthier and feeling better are important to you, especially as we get older, we have to make things more intentional. We can still feel great and do all those things, but we got to be intentional about it. See, then your life has to have some structure that support these goals. You got to have structure, otherwise things are everywhere. So we're not talking about perfection, not a rigid schedule where everything has to go exactly right, just a system that makes it easier to eat well, a system that helps you move your body, a system that gives you time to rest, a system that requires you to make doesn't require you, to make the perfect decision every single day. So before you go looking for another diet, another meal plan, another weight loss challenge, nothing's wrong with any of those. You might want to check out the meal plan or another workout program. Take a look at your life, your schedule, because maybe you already know what to do. Like I said, I don't think you're unmotivated or need more discipline. Maybe you just need a better system. So this week, take 10 to 15 minutes and look at your schedule. Plan a few meals. Actually, if you have some time now, just write it down. Plan a few meals, make your grocery list, put your workouts on the calendar. Think about where your time is actually going. And ask yourself, what small change can make taking care of myself easier? Because getting healthier doesn't always require you to completely change your life. Sometimes you just need to organize the life you already have in a way that makes room for you. So if this video made you think about your own life, let me know in your comments. Like, what is one area where being more organized can make taking care of yourself easier? And if you want more practical conversations about fitness, nutrition, wellness, stress, I'm talking about solo travel. We're just talking about all things 40 and up, maybe you're 30 and up, just life, right? Living life. So if you are getting something out of these conversations, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you send this to a friend that may need it. And I will see you on the other side. Take care.